Here we go. This is my talk right here. All right. Should the Ravens or the Chiefs, okay, be the Super Bowl favorites through 5 games? Now, once again, Lee, the mic is yours.
Look, it's a long way to go. I mean, it's a long, long way to go. It's 12 games left in this season. So, both teams are great, and I think both teams are going to be there at the end. Let me say this: the Ravens have everything they need now to win the Super Bowl. To win the Super Bowl. They have Lamar Jackson throwing the ball better than he's thrown it ever. They have the complement of Derrick Henry in the backfield that if they had ran more in that first game and not abandoned the run, that outcome could have been different, even though they almost came back and won it that first game. So now, look, you can never count out Patrick Mahomes. Never count out Patrick Mahomes. But I see Baltimore's defense getting better and better and better. And look, even though Mahomes is great, he's losing people left and right. Rashee Rice being lost, Pacheco being lost. And then, even though they performed, they got a suspect offensive line, but they won the Super Bowl. So we give them credit for that. I like the Baltimore Ravens. Beating Kansas City in the NFC Championship rematch this year. I like the Baltimore Ravens going to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. I think with what they have, you've seen them get better and better and better. And look, feed the ball to Derrick Henry. And the other thing I love is how now Lamar doesn't have to run and be your focal point as the leading rusher. Lamar can run as needed and to keep them honest from staying off of Derrick Henry. And it's a beautiful thing. And like I said, I haven't seen Lamar throw the football this well his entire career. He's been great. He's playing at an MVP level and playing on a level that could possibly win him a third MVP. I like the Baltimore Ravens over Kansas City as the Super Bowl favorites, even though Kansas City is 5-0.
Yeah, I think those are, decent, good points. Those are good points, One of the things that I really wanted to bring up in the last topic to kind of like fuel my debate, I actually could bring up here because I was going to actually take an example from this exact game. This is why, going back a little bit, but staying here and transferring here, this is why I believe Sean McDermott trusted Josh Allen with the ball. Now, you look at the Bengals, they had a gift, from the Ravens when the Ravens fumbled the ball in overtime. And they gave the Bengals a ball back, I believe, at the 58 to try to win the game. Literally, all they had to do was get in position to kick the field goal, and they ran the ball 3 times, playing for the field goal. And guess what happened? The snapper, I believe, fumbled the ball, kind of. He didn't hold it like how he was supposed to. Evan McPherson missed the kick, and they lost the game. That's because they played conservative. When you have an opportunity, when you have Joe Burrow, win the game. When you have Josh Allen, win the game. When you have Lamar Jackson, win the game. When you have Patrick Mahomes, win the game. Okay? That's it. But back to my point here. I do believe that the Ravens are the best team in the NFL right now, based on what my eye test is telling me. Now, when you look at this game, man, against the Bengals, I mean, it wasn't the typical back in the day AFC North with the running game, the physicality, win with the defense. No, it was a modernized Bengals, Ravens AFC North battle between two elite quarterbacks, one that can slice you up and carve you up in the pocket in Joe Burrow, another one that can carve you up in the pocket too, but is really known for his outside structure ability in Lamar Jackson. And those guys was going tit for tat. Okay, now, the reality is the Ravens have a elite 1-2 punch in Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. And Derrick Henry has been dominant the last couple of weeks. I mean, he leads the league in rushing, I believe 572 yards through 5 games. And even though it wasn't the best game from Henry, and they stacked the boxes clearly to take him out of the game plan, that's when Lamar Jackson became a threat as a passer as well, and he was effective in the air. He had like a couple Houdini plays, man, where he fumbled the ball, picked it up, threw it in the end zone for a touchdown. I mean, Lamar Jackson is one of those type of dudes. Now, The reason why the Ravens are dangerous, right, is because you look at that game against the Bengals. Derrick Henry was pretty much contained until he wasn't, until we got to overtime when he broke off that 51-yard run to set up the game-winning field goal. That's what Derrick Henry could do to you. When you stack the box, you try to take him out of the game plan, he wears you down as the game prolongs. And now he can have that big, explosive fourth quarter run. How many times we seen Derrick Henry in the fourth quarter have a run like he had in overtime? That's because of the fatigue trying to stop this man. And now you got to worry about Lamar Jackson. I mean, come on. How do you stop a team like that? Now, look, I understand the Ravens were 0-2 to start off the year, but context is everything when we talk football. They lost Patrick Queen, who played well alongside Waquan Smith, right? They lost a couple people. I believe they right tackles or guards or something like that. I think they
lost
caused
two offensive linemen. Yeah, they lost. Matter of fact, they lost 3 offensive linemen off
three,
their
right
year.
tackle, 2 guards they lost as well.
Jadavion Clowney, they lost off the defense, so they had to come together.
Literally. And they lost the Mike McDonald wizard guy, the defensive coordinator. All right. That was a big, impactful coach on that staff last year. They lost that guy to a head coaching job. Instead of them filling the gaps with veteranship, they trusted the young guys.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what they did. And when you trust the young guys, you got to expect a learning curve. And that's exactly what happened. So when you talk about Patrick Queen, you look at Patrick Queen, okay, we are going to go with the young guy. I believe it's Simpson is his name. I think it's Simpson that is taking his spot. And you have a couple dudes on the offensive linemen, young guys as well. So what they're doing is coaching on the fly while competing. And that's why they started 0-2 and why now that they're in sync a little bit more. Remember, they punted the preseason. That's why now they have won 3 straight games. They're for real, and I think they're ready to dethrone KC.
Yeah, long season, Leo. Long season. A 17-game season, and you hit it on the head. No preseason, really. These teams don't play in the preseason. It's more of an evaluation during that 3-game preseason schedule. So the first 4 games of the season is basically preseason, right? So you make mistakes, they didn't run the ball enough against Kansas City. They actually just blew the game against the Raiders, right? So you make those mistakes. It's preseason, right? But you see the Ravens getting better and better and better week in and week out. They're starting to use Derrick Henry. And to your point, look, it doesn't matter if you stop him for 3 quarters. He's going to wear on you, and he's big enough and strong enough and fast enough to break a 51-yarder to win the game. And by the way, you still got to watch Lamar going out the back door, right? And then you got to watch Likely and those receivers. Man, that's a dangerous, dangerous team. The only thing they have to do now is shore up the defense. And as you said, younger defense that will get better and better and better. Ojabo is playing well on the end, rushing the passer. And so this team, by the time we get to Thanksgiving, watch out for the Ravens because I think they're going to be hitting on all cylinders, barring injuries. They're going to be tough. But look, we never count out Patrick Mahomes. You never count him out. Never, 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 ever. Never count him out. But the Ravens, I think, are special this year, and I look for them to go all the way. And I believe they'll be the Super Bowl representative for the AFC.
I mean, look, you never count out the referees either and their impact, in these games. I mean, I've seen it. I mean, 3 straight Super Bowls in the Mahomes Reed era without a holding call in those games, in those big games like the Super Bowls. I mean, you cannot underestimate that, the league, we got to give my boy Mahomes calls because look, this goes on and a lot of people don't want to talk about it. I get it. We don't want to believe that the earth is collapsing. We don't want to believe in global warming. We want to live our lives. We don't want to believe that there's people in power trying to take us out. We don't want to believe that. We want to believe that the American dream is still a reality. We want to believe that the game is not rigged. I get it. Okay, but we have to realize, and I was talking to my cousin yesterday. So my guy Fred, I haven't heard from him in a minute, and I got to hear from him yesterday. We was talking for about maybe an hour while I was in the car on my way to an appointment with a client. And he broke it down solid. He's a historian, right? He's been watching sports longer than me because he's older than me. And he was like, listen, I was there for Jordan. He got calls.
Yeah.
Okay. Jordan got calls. Tom Brady, my guy, got calls.
Yeah.
Mahomes is getting calls.
Yeah.
Okay. It is what it is. We just got to accept that. In boxing, if you got the belt, you got to beat that guy who got the belt decisively. Otherwise, you're not going to get the decision.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Okay.
That's boxing. But greatness, Jordan, greatness, greatest player of all time.
Yeah, true. But he definitely got some calls.
Mahomes, greatness.
Calls.
I don't
forget Tom Brady now. You should have said Tom Brady before you said Mahomes. Moving backwards, my guy.
No. Let me say this, man. Let me say this. Brady is the GOAT right now. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. Now, Mahomes is coming, and he's coming strong. Mahomes had 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, he's coming to a Taylor Swift concert.
Every metrics that every quarterbacking metrics, every statistic, when you compare Mahomes and Brady at the same time in their career, Mahomes is knocking him out of the box. Brady has 7. Mahomes has to get to 5 or 6 to be called the greatest. He don't have to get to 8, I don't think. So we'll see. But Mahomes is still a GOAT. I mean, Brady's still a GOAT.
Mahomes
is closing fast. Mahomes is closing fast. Let's be honest. Now, do I think Mahomes is going to get the 5 or 6 championships? I don't. But if he gets the 5, he already has 3, and he's 27, 28 years old. Brady better watch out because he'll supplant.
I mean, look, nothing lasts forever. Okay, that's basic, basic teaching. There's going to be a time where the Chiefs will be the New England Patriots right now. Okay, so I can understand why the league is trying to get as much chips as possible. It's good for the league, especially with Taylor Swift in that bizarre, annoying coverage that I hate. Okay, can we stop simping to this girl, please? Is this Wendy Williams? Is this Entertainment Tonight? Or is this the NFL? I'm tired of it.
She has 50 million followers. It's good for viewership, Leel. It's good for viewership.
Don't sell your soul, brother. Don't. It's not worth it, okay? It's not worth it. But anyway, I do want to say this about the Chiefs real quickly here. And I will give them some type of credit here. I'm not a hater. I will give them credit where credit is due. They have adapted. That's been their thing. That's why they've won. Yeah. Adaptation. Okay, Tyreek Hill's gone. Okay, we're not going to be this explosive team down the field. The league is playing 2 high safeties against us. All right, making sure we don't give nothing over the top. Okay, we're going to go underneath and we're going to run the football. That's going to be our identity. Okay, and they continue to do that. Even with the losses of Rashid Rice and Isaiah Pacheco, until the league finds a way to play disciplined football, the Chiefs are going to be there at the end as well. Okay, I just have to admit that, especially when they get calls on their side, which they will get. We cannot act like that doesn't happen or it's not happening. It's happening, folks. Okay, now my last point is why I think the Ravens are the team equipped to knock them off is because when you win a championship, historically, it's a building block. Look at Boston in the NBA. Conference championship after conference championship. I mean, Eastern Conference Finals, which is the equivalent to that. After Eastern Conference Finals, failure, finals, loss, but then they won eventually. The same thing is going to happen for the Ravens. Lamar, lost. Wild card, lost. Divisional, lost. AFC Championship game, lost. But then there's going to be a point where he's going to make the chip. And I think this year will be that year.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.